This is the story of my Cantonese friend who ate a mildly spicy dish.
辣死我了
Didn't even give you the pepper, it's just rice.
These are gonna kill me. These are gonna make me cry.
That's tomato.
Oh.
Maybe we should take you to a spice camp where you train.
Well, we did the next best thing. We took him, willingly might I add, to a Sichuan restaurant where they have this one dish on the menu called 伤心凉粉, which literally translates as sadness, heartbreak, cold noodles.
你知道为什么这个叫伤心凉粉吗？
因为辣到伤心。
Stay tuned, and as always, don't forget to subscribe.
Alice, the time has come to say goodbye to this gorgeous castle, our home for the past week.
It's always been my childhood dream to stay in a castle, and this experience has really made me feel like I'm living in a fairy tale. So I want to give a huge shout out to my friend who owns this place, who let me come and stay and unleash my inner Disney princess.
If you want to get away from everything, the noise, the city life, this is the perfect country life experience in nature.
Well, as much as I enjoyed our fantasy life at the castle, it is time to get back to reality. We are heading to Paris. I am so excited to finally do some food adventuring here, and there's someone I am so excited for Alice to finally meet.
Bienvenue à Paris!
We are in Paris, and guess who we've got here?
Bonjour.
We're in Paris.
Bonjour, Alice.
So French. Last time we did a video together, you spoke a little bit of French for us, but you were speaking like Emily in Paris French.
Bonjour. Bien sûr.
So
Yes.
to prove to the people that you actually can speak French after a year or so living here in Paris, can you guys commence a conversation in French?
Oh, bien sûr. Enchanté.
Another guess, love it.
Et en fait, toi, tu es une chef. Et oh là là, c'est génial parce que moi, je ne sais pas cuisiner. Hein.
Mais tu sais manger, ça c'est très important.
Ah oui, ça, c'est la chose la plus importante. Ouais, c'est ça.
Anyway, today we are not having too much to do with Parisian food, French food at all. I thought we could take a dive into the Chinese food of Paris because I did hear that there is a large Chinese diaspora here. You can find a lot of Chinese food.
C'est parti.
Just something really random that I have just noticed. So notice this statue here. She is carrying what I can only assume is a pigeon. And what is all around her? Pigeons. Okay, I mean, not that crazy, unless you consider that there are also 3 other statues where there are no pigeons. This is the pigeon goddess. First up, we're heading across town to one of Paris's Chinese food hotspots.
Bienvenue dans le 13e. So I should put it as like a Chinatown, kind of like a similar concept in Paris. The characteristic of this place is that it's not only Chinese.
Here in the 13th, you'll find a mixture of Southern Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai, and Cambodian cultural influences, as well as food.
As we probably know, the Indochina Peninsula, like Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, these 3 countries were colonized by France. There were probably 2 waves of immigrants coming over here from that time. So one is after the World War II, and one is like by the end of the Vietnam War. And of course, there are also Chinese diasporas, a lot of Chinese diasporas living in those countries, and then they came over here as well.
So as a result, the 13th here is a cultural melting pot, and I think our taste buds are in for a treat today. Restaurant Paris, we have some Chinese writing here, we have English or French here, and then we also have some, I guess, Thai over there.
This is a fusion Chinese restaurant with Southeast Asian cuisine.
And I think the back of the menu says it all. This restaurant was established in 1982 and combines Cambodian, Thai, Chinese, and Vietnamese cuisine. And from this important cultural blend, the harmony of the 13th arrondissement is reflected, a neighborhood where Southeast Asia meets and mixes. And as you peruse the menu, you'll realize it's the embodiment of fusion, from pho to pork buns to papaya salads to Beijing sour and spicy soup to Vietnamese spring rolls to lok lak, a Cambodian Vietnamese specialty, to spicy Thai stir fries. Seriously, reading the menu is like a taste bud summary of a 4-week vacation in Southeast Asia.
La pâte de riz au poulet du bœuf, les pâtes de poulet, le bœuf lok lak, le porc sauté au basilic Thai, un son tam s'il vous plaît.
And the dishes, they come out quick, steaming, and oh so fragrant. The Chinese rice noodle soup, the papaya salad, the Thai stir fry, the chicken feet, and this lok lak, a dish I've never tried before.
It's one of my favorite dishes growing up in Australia.
I've learnt that lok lak means to shake, which comes from the cooking technique where the diced meat is constantly shaken in a wok.
It is a diced beef marinated in different sauce, in like a soy sauce base, oyster sauce as well, and some fish sauce.
I can't help myself. Just as aromatic as you'd expect, the meat is so tender and it's actually quite sweet too. But of course, I can't overlook that tomato rice it's served with. It's also served with this sauce here.
It's a vinegar sauce, so it's going to be very sour.
You probably put too much.
Oh yeah, I put way too much.
Kind of did that mistake once, and then I learned from it.
They put egg in it, as you can see. They put some fried egg, so it's kind of more like a 炒饭.
Like a 西红柿蛋炒饭.
What I like is that the tomato rice, that umami nature, it balances well with the sweetness of the meat and then also the sourness from that vinaigrette.
It's a really well-balanced dish and just really nice to eat. Okay, up next we've got our guotiao, aka Chaoshan-style rice noodles from the south of China. And we've been provided with some lemon and bean sprouts to go with it, which I guess brings in this Vietnamese flair. Because I don't think I've personally seen guotiao eaten like this in Chaoshan before, but let me know in the comments.
This is my favorite dish here.
It smells really fresh.
I do love this wide, chubby noodle.
Oh, the noodle looks so wide and chubby. Is this how they would usually look in the Chaoshan region?
Yes.
In Vietnam, they'll be thinner.
Nice texture.
Also got these beef balls inside that reminded me so much of the beef balls I ate in Chaoshan a few years ago. They're airy and springy to the point they're almost crunchy.
I love it with the bean sprouts. They just make this dish very fresh.
A whole lot of texture.
Next up, we've got one of my faves, chicken feet.
Chicken feet in France, in a restaurant specializing in Vietnamese, Cambodian, Thai, and Chinese food.
Thank
chicken
you.
foot for you, a chicken foot for you, and a chicken foot for me. Oh, it's actually very nice.
It reminds me of Cantonese dim sum.
I'm quite fussy when it comes to chicken feet. I hate it when you bite into a chicken foot and it's like not soft and it's hard. I like it when it's collagen-y and you basically don't even have to bite down on it. The bones will just slip out on their own.
Yep.
And it's a really salty, umami flavor.
And actually, fun fact, if you take a look at the sauce here, there are black beans, there are garlic, which is exactly what we use in Guangdong to marinate the chicken feet and to steam it with.
Now it's time for our Thai section. We have our papaya salad and this one.
Sauteed basil prawns over rice. And basil is used a lot in Thai cuisine. But the basil is different from Italian basil. It's Thai basil, which has a more citrusy, fragrant taste.
And oh my goodness, talk about fragrant. From the smell alone, this is the one I was most excited to try. It's umami from the fish sauce, garlicky and slightly spicy, and looks like Peter has just discovered that for himself.
I didn't even give you the pepper. It's just rice.
辣死我了.
I'd love to take you to an Indian restaurant.
It will be hilarious and funny, and I will probably end up crying.
Maybe we should take you to a spice camp where you train.
Oh yeah.
You train in gradation.
Is that a thing?
We can make it a thing. For people who want to travel to China or to anywhere with spicy regions, sign up to Alice's Spicy
Spice
Bootcamp.
adventure. And then black belt means you can take ghost peppers. You can take the highest level.
I will not challenge that.
I don't think I'm a black belt. No way. Ghost
No
peppers,
way.
those are next level.
Last but not least, we've got our papaya salad.
These are gonna kill me. These are gonna make me cry.
That's tomato.
Oh.
No, these
Gotta love me a papaya salad. So fresh, so zesty, it's the perfect refreshing way to round off this table of food. And sometimes a picture paints 1,000 words. We love the food here. Oh my goodness, check this out. Hot pot is known as fondue in France. That is the cutest, fondue. But I guess it makes sense, right? At the end of the day, is a cheese or chocolate fondue not simply just a cheese or chocolate hot pot? This has given me a lot to ponder. How about this for fusion? We've just come across an Asian baker here, and they have macarons, which is very French, but check out this flavor just around the corner here. We actually have a durian macaron, which we just have to try.
Durian macaron. Would you say that's a typical flavor for a French macaron?
no.
I mean, I don't really think any French people, like, if they have never been to Southeast Asia, like, they will actually
They
know
would
what
know
a
what
durian is.
durian is.
Let's try. Please try. It tastes quite nice. The durian isn't too in your face. It's quite subtle,
If you like durian, I think you'll like it.
which is a polite way of saying you don't like durian.
But I could actually eat it.
Yeah.
I could actually eat it.
Okay with this.
I'm
Not-
okay with this,
It's not
actually.
offensive.
I didn't think that my first French macaron experience would be with flavors like this.
We need to give you good. We need to go to a good macaron place.
Can we try it?
Yeah, we should
We
try
will
real
get you the authentic ones.
ones.
So we're in the 7th arrondissement in Paris, and we've just come across this Japanese-French fusion patisserie, and that specializes in especially these macarons. There's a lot of Japanese-French fusion that happens in the city, but especially in pastry. I think it's because of the cross-cultural exchange historically, but also the two cultures have this kind of laser-focused attention to detail and to flavor and technique, and as a result, some of the finest chefs in the world from both France and Japan train in each other's countries.
So what makes a good macaron?
What you're looking for is a really smooth surface on the top, no bubbles, And then inside, you just want this like the right ratio of cream to the macaron shell.
And they also have some very interesting flavors here. Have to say, I'm intrigued to try this wasabi one. And in another unexpected twist from today, Peter speaks fluent Japanese.
はい、じゃあ、注文お願いします。まずは、わさびと。I never thought my Japanese skill would come in handy in Paris.
Neither did I, but that was quite a surprise. And what flavor did we end up getting else?
We got pistachio, framboise, raspberry, and the wild card wasabi.
Oh, that feels different.
See, it's kind of soft and chewy on the inside.
And I like how there's like a little bit of acidity in there that breaks through that sweetness.
Well, I can devour this one.
The rest is for you.
Next up, pistachio, one of my favorite ice cream flavors, and this was just as creamy and nutty as that, so it was a huge tick from me.
And actually, pistachio is a very typical French dessert flavor.
Would you also say wasabi is a very typical French ingredient in dessert? Well, I'm excited to try it. Wasabi macaron.
I'm just looking at you and waiting to see your face.
I think it's going to be amazing. Wasabi, it could be good.
I think it might be a favorite. Is it really good?
You know, it just adds a nuttiness. It's good. You can definitely taste the wasabi, but it comes across nutty.
It's like a wasabi broad beans, but with the chocolate version.
What? I like whatever's happening behind us here. What is this? What game are they playing?
They're playing a very traditional French game
Called a pétanque.
They'll go out and play, hang out, and they're throwing these metal balls.
I love it. It's giving Chinese park. You know, the eyes and shushu's at the park doing their dancing. It's kind of like the French version.
Okay, so Peter, where are we off to now?
So we're off to our dinner location in the 3rd arrondissement. In this area, there are a lot of Chinese people living there. They are mostly from the mainland of China. That guarantees that the food we're getting tonight will be authentic.
And looks like Sichuan food is on the menu tonight. And before you say anything, I'd like to make it clear that Peter actually suggested this place, and perhaps he is in fact ready to start his spice bootcamp journey after all.
你好，3位可以吗？I'm sure you guys have seen those accounts on YouTube where they like shock local restaurateurs outside of China by speaking Chinese. I don't know what they're doing to get those reactions, but I feel like whenever I say, hey, can I get a table for 3? No one ever reacts. I never get those reactions. What am I doing wrong?
Maybe you look Chinese.
Generally, the menu is looking pretty spicy. A lot of red, a lot of peppercorn. It's got a lot of chili emojis here.
Where no chili denotes not spicy, 1 chili is mildly spicy, 2 chilies are spicy, and 3 chilies, you guessed it, it's extra spicy. Peter, welcome to bootcamp. We are going to try all 3 levels.
I'm probably gonna cry.
In the 1 chili category, we went for a classic mapo tofu. Then we found this xianjiaoji, a fresh chili chicken, which has 2 chili emojis. And as for our level 3,
芳心凉粉. What's 芳心凉粉?
You mean 伤心凉粉?
Oh, 香心, yeah. It's got 3 chilies.
I heard about this 伤心凉粉. It's apparently like, it's so spicy and then like you're crying.
Xiangxian means to be broken-hearted or feel deep hurt. So this dish literally translates to deep hurt cold noodles. Maybe this is going to be our black belt dish.
会让你很伤心是吗？
你知道为什么这个叫伤心凉粉吗？
因为辣的伤心。
Okay. Okay. 好，我们尝试一下。
喝什么吗？
I think Peter needs some 水。
叫水就好。
有没有牛奶？
豆奶。
美女，你中文真好。
谢谢。我想问一下，你觉得法国人能吃辣椒的程度是还可以吗？还是
可以。
是吗？
好多会吃那个辣椒。
And not only that, as I learned from Alice, there's actually been a lot of cultural exchange between France and China historically.
So as a historian and academic, I work a lot with other historians, and what I found is that the best sinologists in the world, generally speaking, come from France.
Do you know why that is?
I think that there's always been an appreciation for the Orient. Throughout the Qing dynasty, you had a lot of French monks who would go there and set up monasteries, and they would teach, but they also learn a lot and bring a lot of knowledge back to France.
Yeah, and that region was actually specifically in Yunnan because like that was very close to Vietnam. So like Vietnam was a French colony, so like the French people, they go like along the railway from Hanoi like all the way to Kunming. So actually the cultural exchange between China and France back in the days was very interesting.
We were there in Shanghai recently, Fazhujie, the French concession area was a concession area for the French, and still to this day is one of the most trendy parts of Shanghai. And the boulevards of those streets, they're very wide. They actually are modeled off of French roads, French boulevards. So that's why when you walk down Wukanglu, it feels almost like you're in Paris or France. And they actually brought in trees, plane trees from France directly So you know there's very specific trees that you see on Wukong.
Yeah.
They're originally from France that they brought in.
Guys, I am at the table with a polyglot, a geographer, a historian, an economist. I'm just here like, I'm pointing the camera. I thought we could make this fun and make a game of it. Who's smarter, Peter or Alice? Oh, actually, you know what? Saved by the bell. Because our first dish has arrived. Wow, that looks amazing. Even though our first dish has arrived, we all know you can't eat Chengdu or Sichuan food without rice. So there is time for some questions. Which country is the world's most earthquake-prone country? Please buzz in with your answer.
Japan.
Buzz.
Yep,
China.
you got it right.
The story behind that is, yes, Japan is very prone to earthquake because like it sits on that border with like two tectonic plates. But the problem is there are even more tectonic plates meeting each other in China.
Okay, we'll do one more. Our rice has just arrived. We'll do one more question before we actually start. Okay. Oh, who was President Nixon's first vice president?
Spiro Agnew.
Yeah.
Oh,
That I don't know.
I should know that because I'm a historian and I studied Cold War history.
Okay, one more. We're
Okay.
1-1. Let's see who will win the third round. Oh, this is a good one because I believe it's in French. What does the saying "requiescat in pace" abbreviate to?
Buzz. RSVP.
No,
Répondez s'il vous plaît.
no. I think it's
Wait.
just my French that's really bad. It's
Yeah.
requiescat in pace. You can pronounce it here.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Oh, right.
I think we can blame my my French or whatever
It
language
was
that
Latin.
was.
It was Latin.
That's Latin.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, anyway, let's get digging into this.
So this is the xianjiaoji, the fresh chili chicken, and I seem to be having quite the moment with it right now.
I've been in Europe for the last 3 weeks, so this is... I've already started thinking the first meal that I'm gonna have when I get back to China, and I've already decided it's gonna be my favorite malatang place in Dongbei, where I get them to load it with mouth-numbing and spice and sesame sauce.
Well, I'm trying to pick a piece that is like less spicy.
For me, I really like it because I love the flavor of peppercorn, and I feel like that comes through really strongly in this. It's spicy, it's a little bit of heat, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. And honestly, I love these green chili peppercorns because they're so citrusy
Yeah.
and vibrant. You
It's
know?
definitely my favorite peppercorn.
Yeah.
I went through, I don't think I've told you this, but I went through a period where I was so addicted to green peppercorns. I was just like sprinkling it on
Yeah.
everything, my toast
Yeah.
had Sichuan peppercorns. And it got to a stage where my digestive system was like, no more peppercorns. So I had to take like a 6-month break from Sichuan peppercorns.
Oh, wow.
But I'm recovered. And I'm back.
I may be back, but I don't think Peter ever departed the station. In fact, I think he's lost on Struggle Street right now.
For those of you who don't know, Peter actually has ancestral roots to Hunan. And every Chinese New Year, Peter will go back to Hunan.
For 4 days. Only 4 days. Longer than 4 days, I cannot take it.
Next dish that has just arrived on the table, which is actually rabbit. So you were letting me know that rabbit is used a lot in French cooking, right? And I guess that's another something in common that Chinese food and French food have in common is they use a lot of rabbit. Actually, in Sichuan, I went to a place called Zigong where they're very famous for using rabbit, and basically every restaurant will have rabbit on the menu somewhere, and it was so delicious. I'm sorry to tell you, but this one actually comes with a 3 chili warning.
It looks very innocent.
I actually don't really believe that it's gonna be that bad, so let's try.
Famous last words when
Yep.
you eat the spicy bunny.
Alice, let's feel this first and see just how spicy it is.
Oh, that's so tender. This is what I love about rabbit.
Yeah.
It's tenderer than chicken.
And it
It's-
doesn't have too much of its own like flavor.
It's not gamey like
Yeah.
duck or lamb can be. This is not spicy.
No, I find that that one's spicier actually. You're gonna be fine.
A few minutes later.
Well, maybe this is gonna be the one that will really finish you off. This is the Shangxian
伤心
Liangfen,
凉粉, yeah.
which I love that the name is called that because it's gonna like spice you to death or spice you to tears, which I think, yeah, it's probably gonna happen.
But never fear, Peter, respite is on the way. Our least spicy dish, the mapo tofu, has also just arrived, and I have to say it looks very good, and I tend to judge a Sichuan restaurant by the quality of its mapo tofu.
I mean, you've definitely got the presence of doubanjiang in there, which is one of like the essential ingredients to mapo tofu. So you've got that umami kick, which is so important. It's salty, slightly spicy. It's more salty and umami than anything else.
Yeah.
And that tofu is nice and soft. I have to say, this place is quite authentic. It tastes good. If I got this food in Sichuan, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in Sichuan.
But no more stalling, it's time to try out some heartbreak noodles.
So jelly-like. Oh yeah, it smells so good. It reminds me a little bit of like
I can't smell it.
smells a little bit like pai huanggua, a little bit. in like the
Yes,
vinegariness.
it definitely has
sesame.
like the vinegary, garlicky, and chili.
Oh, it's got
kind of
black
smell.
vinegar and garlic.
Yeah, I mean winning combo. Here, can I give you some heartbreak noodles?
Heartbreak noodles. Okay, fine.
How else would you translate Shanxin?
Sad?
Sadness noodles.
Oh really? Sadness noodles, that's even worse.
Look how jiggly this little thing is. Let me try it first and see if I'm gonna be crying.
Okay, let's see.
Actually, like comparing to this, like this is okay.
There's more
You know?
sweetness and sourness, which balances. It's just actually quite fresh.
It's very refreshing. It's not spicy at all.
Well, I wouldn't agree that it's not spicy at all, but like,
I heard a really interesting thing that the reason why we feel so good after exercise is our dopamine and pain levels are so closely related.
Okay.
So when you do something that's painful, you feel so happy afterwards because you got through it and it's like basically over. And that's why you feel so good after exercise.
It's called the pain-pleasure paradox.
So that's real because I just saw this on TikTok.
are you
No, the neuroscientists have proven the pain-pleasure paradox. It's like the swinging from one to another state to another actually increases our endorphins and makes us happier.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna be really happy after this.
like what I'm feeling right now is like there's like vapor or smoke like coming out of here. I have to be honest, like in this kind of cold weather, eating a little bit of spicy food is, you know, like the right kind of feeling.
I think that's the dopamine kicking in. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for this very special Parisian Chinese food adventure. It has been so much fun with you guys. I'm looking forward to more videos as a threesome together in the future. So don't forget to follow Peter on his channel. Don't forget to follow Alice on her channel. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you on my channel next week. Bye from Paris.
Au revoir. Bisous.